Cheide.
In this 3-minute rules, we will be looking at the combat phase, and in particular the rules for overrun and pursuit off the battlefield. All of this can be found on page 58 of the large 8th edition rulebook. Overrun. If the victorious unit charged into combat and the enemy was wiped out, it can move 2d6 inches straight forward. In this example, we will say that the dwarves have charged the high elves. In addition, although this is highly unlikely, let's say for this example that all the high elves were killed in combat, and that is in combat, not in flee pursuit. With such a powerful charge and combat, the dwarves are able to make an overrun move. This represents the unit surging forwards, hungry to find more enemies to fight. An overrun is essentially a special pursuit move. When making an overrun, the victorious unit moves 2d6 inches directly forwards as if they were pursuing a fleeing enemy to their front. In the case of other units and swift stride, this may be 3d6 instead of 2d6, but for the dwarves we will roll 2d6. Total of 6 inches. Pursuit off the battlefield. A pursuing unit that moves into contact with the battlefield edge moves off the battlefield. They're so caught up in their pursuit of the foe that their momentum carries them clean off the battlefield. Unlike troops fleeing the battlefield, however, such pursuers are good and keen to come back to the fray. Accordingly, we allow them to re-enter the board in their next movement phase using the rules for reinforcements on page 27. As such, the unit is placed back as close as possible to the same point from which it left the battlefield in the same formation. And remember that it needs to face directly towards the battlefield and have all of its rear rank touching the battlefield edge. It's often a good idea to leave a model from such a unit in order to mark the position from which it left the battlefield. And with that, we come to the conclusion of our 3-minute rules on overrun and pursuit off the battlefield. Thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming for the future of fantasy.